Practice with some kind of meditation object. The one I recommend is the repetition of Buddho. Why is this recommended? Because it's simple to do. When we mentally repeat Buddho, 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 Buddho doesn't correspond to any specific phenomenon. It's good for tranquility meditation. It's a thought, a mental action. We think of the word Buddho continuously without forcing the mind to be still, without forcing the mind to be happy, without forcing the mind to be calm. Just mentally repeat Buddho, 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 playfully, and keep being aware of the mind when it wanders off elsewhere. While we're repeating Buddho, Buddho, the mind will often wander off into thinking. It will go off to think about other things, and it will forget to repeat Buddho. So the act of repeating Buddho is intentional thinking. We intentionally bring up the word Buddho, but when we lose mindfulness, the mind will wander off to think about something else. It will stop thinking Buddho. Therefore, we keep training. We repeat Buddho until we're proficient. When the mind strays to think about something else and forgets Buddho, it will quickly become aware of itself. If we don't like using Buddho, can we use another meditation object? Yes, we can. Any meditation object related to the body or mind is fine. For example, being aware while exhaling, being aware while inhaling. Continue being aware like that without aiming for calm. As we breathe in and out, just simply be aware. When the mind gets absorbed in the breath, know so. When the mind wanders off to think about something else, also know so. So, whatever meditation object we use, we should choose one that we like, one that we enjoy doing. But the purpose of doing it is not to gain happiness, calm, or goodness of any kind. The sole purpose is to develop right awareness of the mind. Meditating on the breath, anapanasati, can be quite tricky. It's tricky because it's highly versatile. For example, using mental repetition, thinking of the word Buddho, is easier. There's no variation, no complexity. It's straightforward. If you're not thinking Buddho, you're thinking of something else. That's all there is. But with anapanasati, there are many techniques. You can use it to develop jhana, psychic powers, insight, or tranquility. All kinds of practices are possible with anapanasati. You can cultivate calm or insight. You can develop insight with jhana, within access concentration, or within momentary concentration. You can use it to play with kasina, even the kasina of the elements. You can progress towards psychic powers by continuing from kasina. So it's a bit tricky. With so many techniques, we practitioners can get confused or go astray, especially when we're far from a teacher. So for us, just Buddho, Buddho. Nothing complicated, nothing to be afraid of. So repeat Buddho, Buddho. And when the mind wanders off into thought, be aware. It's in that moment of wandering off that we observe. At first, we won't notice for a long time. We might get lost in thought for an hour before realizing, oh, I forgot Buddho for an entire hour. Later, we'll notice after half an hour. Then we'll notice after 10 minutes. With more skill, we'll know even just after a minute. We won't be lost for long. Eventually, The moment the mind drifts into thought and drops Buddho, we'll notice instantly. That moment, we know the mind has wandered. Right there, the stable, knowing mind, the non-wandering mind, arises automatically. The knowing mind that arises on its own is a good knowing mind. It is light, gentle, soft, agile, swift, suitable for its task. It is honest in knowing objects, free from greed, anger, and delusion. It's a good knowing mind. But some people try to deliberately create the knowing mind, trying to feel this way on purpose. That's done with greed. When done with greed, the mind becomes tight, heavy, stiff, dull, and numb. So if we meditate and the mind feels heavy, tight, stiff, dull, and numb, we've gone wrong. We've forced the mind too much. Just let the mind get lost and then know it. That's enough. Don't try to prevent it from getting lost. If you do, the mind will become tight. So we must cultivate a knowing mind that arises automatically, not one that we intentionally manufacture. The intentionally made knowing mind is not a high-quality one. It is a wholesome mind with weak strength, only slightly better than a deluded mind. So it's necessary to train ourselves to have a mind that is the knowing, the awakened, the radiant, without intention. The way to train is to use some meditation object. Buddho is the easiest. When the mind wanders off to think about something else, it stops repeating Buddho. It thinks of something else. Be aware of it. The moment we become aware that the mind has wandered, the knowing mind arises. But it arises briefly, just a flash. Lost, then know. Lost again, know again. Some people get lost once and never know. Others are lost for an hour before they realize it. There is a brief knowing mind that arises, but they still can't recognize its face. But if we get lost and know repeatedly, we will eventually recognize the face of the knowing mind. The knowing mind will become prominent, like it's with us all day long. It's only slightly weaker than the knowing mind, developed through jhana. The knowing mind from jhana is strong, but it lasts no more than 7 days. But the knowing mind, developed in this way, through getting lost and knowing, doesn't last long. There's a knower briefly, then lost again, then know again, then lost again. Its strength is weaker, but its appearance is the same. It functions the same way. However, it cannot function as continuously as the knowing mind born from jhana. But its appearance is the same. It functions in the same way. However, it cannot function as continuously as the knowing mind born from jhana.